After I returned my son's teacher's lost wallet, she quietly said, "Come back after school." Alone. The final bell had just rung when a brown leather wallet slid beneath the rear tire of my truck. Students poured through the school doors while rain darkened the parking lot. I stepped around two boys arguing about basketball, crouched beside the tire, and picked up the wallet by its worn edge. The clasp had split along one side. A folded piece of heavy paper slipped from the damaged coin pocket and landed against my shoe. You can answer the board. You can deny the pattern. You cannot stop what comes next. There was no signature. The wording avoided a direct threat, but the owner was meant to understand it. I returned the note without changing its fold. The identification belonged to Claire Bennett, my son Lucas's 7th grade history teacher, room 204. Lucas often complained that Miss Bennett treated missing dates and incomplete citations as serious offenses. He still checked every assignment twice before submitting it. I crossed the wet parking lot and entered through the south doors. The fluorescent lights produced a thin electrical hum that followed me up the stairwell. Most students had left. Lockers slammed while a custodian gathered papers from the floor. Room 204 stood open. Claire leaned over her desk, sorting history papers into uneven stacks. A red pen rested between her fingers. But she had stopped writing when a locker struck its frame somewhere down the corridor. The pen slipped from her hand and tapped against the desk. I knocked twice. Her shoulders tightened before she looked up. "Mr. Foster," she said. Lucas already went to the after-school program. I saw him downstairs. I placed the wallet on the clear corner of her desk. "This was behind your car." Her eyes settled on it. She froze, then drew the wallet toward her and opened the damaged pocket. She ignored the cash, cards, and identification. Her thumb went directly to the folded note. "It fell out when I picked it up," I said. "I put it back." Claire's gaze moved toward the hallway. "Did anyone else see it?" "Not that I noticed." She closed the pocket carefully and pressed the wallet flat against the desk. "Please don't mention this to Lucas." "I won't." "Or the front office." "Not yet." Her voice was controlled. Her knuckles were white. "Is the note connected to the school board?" Her eyes returned to mine. A group of students passed the classroom, laughing loudly enough to cover the silence between us. "I can't explain it here." "Where can you?" Claire glanced at the clock above the whiteboard. "Come back at 5? Her voice dropped. "Alone." I gave her a single nod. "I'll be here." When I returned at 5, the noisy school had become a corridor of security lights, squeaking, cleaning carts, and the sharp smell of floor polish. Claire sat at a student desk in the back row of room 204. Her laptop was open. Printed emails, photographs, and calendar pages covered two neighboring desks. Several envelopes had been sealed inside clear plastic sleeves. Only the desk lamp was on. I stopped inside the doorway. "Would you like the door open or closed?" "Closed, but not locked." I pulled it nearly shut, leaving the latch resting against the frame, then chose a desk 3 feet away. Claire noticed the distance. Some tension left her shoulders. "My son says you're the toughest grader in 7th grade. He believes dates are optional. He has made that argument at home. Did he support it with evidence?" "No." "Then he should understand why it failed." A faint smile came and went. She turned the laptop toward me. The screen showed scanned complaints and photographs of notes left on her car, in her mailbox, and beneath her classroom door. "The man behind this is Adam Cooper," she said. "He taught 8th grade science here until last year." "What happened?" "He ignored lab procedures more than once. During the final incident, a student received a small chemical burn on his wrist. The nurse treated it immediately, but it should never have happened." Claire opened a scanned statement bearing her signature. "Principal Alvarez asked everyone who witnessed his conduct to document what we saw." I submitted a statement. 2 other teachers did the same. Adam resigned before the district completed its review. "And he blamed you." "He blamed everyone. The principal, the nurse, the student, the teachers who wrote statements, but I'm the only one he kept targeting." She opened another folder. 3 months ago, complaints began reaching the board. Favoritism, altered grades, improper curriculum, political bias, inappropriate conversations with students. None of the allegations is supported by evidence. But district policy requires a review. How many complaints? 16. From 16 people? That's what the emails claim. Some use initials. Others say they are community members who fear retaliation. What happens if the district believes them? My personnel record is damaged. If I resign during an active inquiry, another district may assume I left because the accusations were true. If the state licensing office receives an unresolved report, I could spend months trying to clear it. Why not take leave until the investigation ends? My salary pays most of my mother's assisted living expenses. She had a stroke 2 years ago. My sister contributes what she can, but she has 3 children. Claire folded her hands. Leaving would not stop the inquiry. It would only remove my income while Adam's version remains unanswered. Every exit carried another loss. Have you called the police? Twice. She opened a report marked with a case number. The notes do not contain a direct threat. He has not damaged my property or entered my home. The officer told me to document the pattern and call immediately if he approaches me. Your union? They assigned an attorney. Nora Patel. She can challenge formal discipline, but the district has not released the complete complaint packet. Until they do, she cannot answer accusations she has not seen. Claire looked at the note from the wallet. The next inquiry meeting is in 11 days. And the pattern? I think he wants me to believe the complaints will continue until the number matters more than the truth. I leaned forward. Why? Did you ask me back? You saw the note. That cannot be the only reason. Her gaze remained on the screen. Lucas mentioned that you work in crisis response. He makes my job sound more dramatic than it is. He said you talk to people when everyone else thinks talking is useless. That is one part of it. What is the rest? Documentation, communication planning, keeping frightened people from making decisions that create a second crisis. Claire closed the folder. I don't want you contacting Adam. I won't. I don't want you confronting him. Agreed. You cannot speak to the board on my behalf unless I ask you. That decision belongs to you. And Lucas cannot be involved. He won't be. She waited for a qualification. I gave her none. My practical reason for helping is simple. I found the wallet, which makes me a witness. My son spends 5 days a week in this building, which makes the safety of his teacher my concern. I also know useful evidence can become useless if it is collected without a consistent process. I placed a black notebook on the empty desk between us. You stay in control of where the information goes. I help organize it. What would you need? Dates, original files, photographs with context, names of possible witnesses, copies of every report and response. I have most of that. I thought you might. Is that a compliment? It is an assessment. That sounds safer. For the next 90 minutes, we built a chronology. Claire had preserved every envelope, original email, and photograph. Halfway through, she took my pen and corrected one date. The board email arrived Tuesday morning. The note appeared Tuesday afternoon, not the other way around. I checked the original message. She was right. That matters, she said. It means the writer knew about the board communication before I told anyone outside the administration. You just improved the evidence. You gave yourself unnecessarily wide margins. I expect revisions. You write like a man preparing for an argument. I work with people who dislike staying inside margins. A quiet laugh escaped her. Then heavy footsteps approached in the corridor. Claire's chair scraped back. I rose without rushing and moved toward the doorway. Through the narrow gap, the night custodian pushed a yellow mop bucket toward the stairwell. It's the cleaning crew. Claire stayed on her feet until the squeaking wheels disappeared. I hate that every ordinary sound feels like a warning. Tomorrow, we make the ordinary things useful. How? Ask Principal Alvarez to preserve the exterior security footage before the system overwrites it. Request a written copy of the visitor policy. Send the timeline to Nora and have her issue an evidence preservation notice. That tells the district I'm preparing a challenge. They already opened an inquiry. Silence will not make it disappear. Claire stared at the dates spread across the desks, then pulled the laptop toward her. I'll email Nora tonight. Good. What will you do? Write a witness statement about the wallet and the note. Then, I leave. Her eyes lifted. You're not going to watch the building without telling me? No. You're not going to follow Adam? No. You're not going to question Lucas about what teachers are saying? Absolutely not. Her shoulders eased. Tomorrow morning. You may wait near the south entrance while Lucas's program opens. Understood. And you may bring coffee. For yourself? Lucas says you forget breakfast when you are working. My son shares classified information too easily. He is earning extra credit. The next morning, Claire's silver sedan entered the staff lot at 7:28. I stood beside the south entrance, holding 2 paper cups and a folder containing my signed statement. She parked beneath a security camera and followed the main walkway instead of cutting between cars. I offered her 1 cup. No debt attached. She accepted it. 2 sugars? No cream. How did you know? Lucas complained that your coffee smells like melted candy. I may reconsider his extra credit. Principal Maria Alvarez met us outside the office. She wore silver-framed glasses and the careful expression of someone who understood that every sentence might appear in a future meeting. Claire introduced me as the person who found the wallet. I gave Alvarez my statement. Claire opened the email she had sent to Nora. I am requesting preservation of all available footage covering the south parking lot, visitor entrance, and second-floor corridor for the dates listed here. Alvarez read the message. I can preserve footage from the last 30 days. Anything older may already have been overwritten. Please preserve what remains. I will. Alvarez looked at me. Mr. Foster, are you representing Ms. Bennett? No, I am a witness and a parent. That distinction needs to remain clear. It will. Claire lifted her coffee. He has already received that instruction. Before leaving, Claire provided Adam's known vehicle information and asked staff to document any appearance rather than confront him. The footage and visitor policy were now preserved, and the administration had a written warning. For 4 days. And nothing happened. Claire used the silence to tighten her routine. She parked beneath cameras, stored duplicate files with Nora, and photographed unfamiliar vehicles from inside the office. Our morning coffee became a quiet habit that Lucas noticed immediately. Ms. Bennett knows you take it black, he said during the drive home. You have a history assignment due Friday. That is not an answer. It is a reminder. On Thursday afternoon, Adam appeared. I had come to collect Lucas from Robotics Club when Claire emerged through the south doors, carrying a canvas bag and several history books. A man in a navy windbreaker crossed the visitor lot and intercepted her beneath the nearest camera. Mr. Cooper, you are not authorized to approach me on district property, she said. You think paperwork will protect you? Adam asked. By next week, everyone will know what kind of teacher you are. Claire stepped toward the school. He matched her movement. You need to leave. I approached from Claire's left, leaving her path to the building open. Miss Bennett, would you like me to call campus security? Yes. Adam turned toward me. This does not concern you. It concerns the school because you are blocking an employee's path. I held my phone where he could see it. I am recording this interaction. You are standing in an open parking lot beneath district cameras. Adam looked upward. Claire kept her voice steady. Move away from my vehicle. He took half a step back. You will not be teaching here much longer. A door opened behind us. Principal Alvarez and the campus security officer entered the lot. Mr. Cooper, Alvarez called. You have no scheduled business on this campus. Leave immediately. Adam pointed toward Claire. When the board reads the supplemental complaint about the altered Jefferson Project grades, you'll understand why I came. Claire's fingers tightened around the books. Alvarez removed her glasses. No supplemental complaint has been disclosed to school staff. Adam's expression changed. Only for a second. Then he turned and walked toward a dark sedan. The security officer photographed the plate and remained in the lot until the car disappeared onto the main road. A book slipped. I caught it and returned it without touching her. The Jefferson Project, she said. What about it? The complaint arrived this morning. Nora told me it was still being reviewed by district council. Then Adam knew the contents before the district released them. Principal Alvarez had heard her. That means Mr. Cooper either had access to the complaint or knew the person who submitted it. Or wrote it, Claire said. Rain began tapping against the metal awning. The security officer escorted Claire inside while Alvarez contacted district council. I sent the recording directly to Claire. After she confirmed receiving it, I deleted my local copy. In the staff room, she wrapped both hands around a cup of tea. Her fingers trembled once against the ceramic. You didn't step in front of me. You asked for security, not a shield. Most people would have tried to make themselves the center of that confrontation. Most people do not have your written instructions. A tired smile crossed her face. I was afraid you would ignore them when he appeared. You corrected my timeline in red ink. I understood the consequences. The kettle clicked off behind us. Claire released a small laugh, and the trembling stopped. That evening, Nora added the recording, parking footage, and Adam's reference to the undisclosed complaint to the evidence request. District Council then released redacted copies of the complaint attachments. With Claire's written permission, my colleague Ethan Brooks reviewed only those files. He had no access to school servers, student records, or private accounts. 2 days later, he called while Lucas and I built a bridge from wooden craft sticks at the kitchen table. All 16 attachments came from the same template. Ethan said, same margins, same embedded fonts, and the same unusual spelling error. Can that identify the author? Not alone, but one PDF still contains the author field Adam C. 4 files were also created within minutes of Adam appearing on preserved footage at the public library near his apartment. So we have leads, not proof. Exactly. Police and district IT need to obtain and verify the records through the proper process. Lucas lifted the bridge. It's leaning. One support is carrying all the weight, I said. He pushed another stick beneath the center. The bridge straightened. Problem solved. Ethan waited a beat. Your son has excellent timing. And Daniel, remain a witness. Do not become her lawyer, investigator, and security department. I know. You always know. You do not always stop. The following Monday, cold rain settled over the neighborhood. At 2 in the afternoon, Claire sent me a message. The district delivered the notice. When I reached room 204, the overhead lights were off. Gray daylight passed through rain-streaked windows. Claire sat behind her desk with an official letter beneath her palm. Her canvas bag had tipped beside the chair, spilling pens and index cards across the floor. May I read it? She moved her hand. The district had placed her on paid administrative leave pending an emergency review. She would keep her salary and benefits. But she could not enter the classroom or communicate with students until the inquiry was resolved. They're replacing me tomorrow, she said. Lucas and the others will walk in and find someone else at my desk. The leave protects your income while Nora challenges the decision. My income isn't the only thing Adam is taking. Her voice broke on the final word. I pulled up a visitor chair but remained on the opposite side of the desk. No promise could return her to class. Instead, I placed a folder beside the notice. 3 next steps. Nora has requested an emergency review within 48 hours. District Council preserved the email metadata. Officer Ramirez is waiting at the precinct to add the parking incident and the new report to your existing case. Claire pressed her fingertips against her eyes. A muffled breath escaped her. My hand lifted from my knee, then stopped. The rain filled the room while she gathered herself. When she lowered her hands, her eyes were wet but focused. I want to present the timeline myself. You should. I don't want you speaking unless Nora asks for your witness statement. Understood. And Ethan needs to explain what his report does not prove. I will not accuse Adam of something the files cannot establish. That restraint will make your case stronger. Claire looked at the folder. What happens if the board refuses to reverse the leave? Nora files a contractual appeal. District IT completes an independent review. Officer Ramirez seeks the library records through the correct process. We continue. In order. I stopped before answering. You decide whether there is still a we. Claire studied me. Bring your notebook tomorrow, the one with the irresponsible margins. At the precinct, Officer Elena Ramirez reviewed the notes. Footage. and technical summary. She issued Claire an updated case number and referred her to County Victim Services. A police report does not create a protection order, Ramirez explained. A judge does. I will also request preservation of the library footage and seek the authority needed to obtain it. Do not contact the library yourselves. No shortcuts, Claire said. No shortcuts. Outside, the rain had weakened to mist. For months, people told me to keep records, Claire said beneath the awning. Tonight is the first time they feel useful. You made them useful. We organized them. Her hand rested briefly against my forearm before she stepped toward her car. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, District Building. The emergency review took place in a conference room rather than the public board chamber. 5 board members sat behind a long table with district counsel, the superintendent, and Principal Alvarez. Claire entered with Nora Patel. I sat in the second row as a scheduled witness, while Ethan joined by secure video. Adam was not present. This was an employment review, not a confrontation. Claire would have to win with the record. Board President Margaret Higgins opened the meeting. Ms. Bennett, the district placed you on paid administrative leave because the volume and seriousness of the complaints required an investigation. Claire placed a binder on the table. I understand that responsibility, but volume is not the same as independent corroboration. She distributed the chronology. The 16 complaints use different identities, but none belongs to a verified parent or guardian in my classes. They repeat unusual language, contain matching technical features, and refer to information that was never public. District Council confirmed that the listed identities were incomplete or unverifiable. Claire then presented the notes and parking footage. One complaint mentioned the Jefferson Project before the board disclosed it to me. Last Thursday, Adam Cooper named that same complaint while approaching me on district property. Principal Alvarez confirmed the encounter. I described finding the wallet, reading the note when it fell out, and hearing Adam mention the undisclosed allegation. I explained that I had announced the recording before starting it. Ethan displayed the document comparison. All 16 attachments originated from the same template and technical environment. He said, one contains the embedded author field Adam C. That field can be edited, so it is a lead rather than final proof. Independent district analysis and records obtained lawfully by police would be needed for confirmation. Claire had insisted that he state the limits clearly. Her refusal to exaggerate made the evidence harder to dismiss. Higgins closed the report. Why should the board return you to the classroom before the investigation is complete? Claire stood. Because not one complaint is supported by a verified parent, student record, or classroom witness, because the supposed senders cannot be confirmed, and because the available evidence indicates one coordinated source, not 16 independent concerns. She placed the leave notice beside the chronology. I am not asking you to ignore risk. I am asking you to calculate it correctly. Removing a teacher because one person repeated an accusation under different names rewards manipulation rather than protecting students. Nora requested immediate reinstatement, an external review of the complaint process, and written confirmation that no adverse finding would enter Claire's personnel file without corroborated evidence. The board recessed. We waited beside a humming vending machine. I bought coffee for Claire and Nora. 2 sugars? Claire asked. 2 sugars. You may keep your witness status. Only because he follows written instructions, Nora said. The door opened 20 minutes later. Higgins called us back inside. The board has voted to rescind the administrative leave effective tomorrow. The complaints will remain under independent review. But no disciplinary finding will be entered without corroborated evidence. Ms. Bennett may return to teaching after lunch. Claire's fingers tightened around her binder, but her voice remained clear. Thank you. Outside, rainwater shone beneath the parking lights. You stood your ground, I said. We built a record. You delivered it. You sat where I asked you to sit. That was the agreement. Claire looked down at the wet pavement. When I asked you to come back alone, I thought I needed someone strong enough to take the problem away. That would have been another way of losing control. You kept control. Because you stayed inside the boundaries? I looked toward the empty road. I solve problems for a living. Sometimes I move too quickly from helping to carrying. And when you carry everything, people stop holding their own weight. Claire stepped closer. Lucas told me about his mother. The air tightened in my chest. She died 4 years ago. A driver crossed the center line. I'm sorry. She did not ask for details or offer a speech about grief. Her hand rested against my sleeve. I'm back in my classroom tomorrow. You do not need to guard the south entrance. I know, but coffee at 7:28 is still acceptable. A laugh caught me by surprise. Is that an invitation? It is a scheduled meeting. Very professional. I have a reputation to protect. The following afternoon, a victim services advocate helped Claire submit the notes, police reports, and parking footage to the court. A judge issued a temporary no-contact order, and the district separately barred Adam from school property. Officer Ramirez later obtained the preserved library records through the proper process. The footage placed Adam at a public computer during the creation times embedded in several complaint files. District IT confirmed Ethan's findings. 3 weeks later, Nora received the final decision. Every complaint against Claire was closed as unsubstantiated and coordinated. Her personnel file remained clear, and the district changed its complaint system to require verified contact information while protecting legitimate confidentiality. Claire read the letter in room 204, beneath the same fluorescent hum. When the cleaning cart passed outside, she did not flinch. It's finished, she said. The employment case is... The hearing is next week. She pointed to a binder with color-coded tabs. My version has narrower margins. That seems reckless. It has an index. I withdraw my objection. At the hearing, Adam agreed through counsel to a 2-year no-contact order. Claire did not have to speak to him or negotiate for her own safety. When we left the courthouse, 5:09, sunlight reflected from the stone steps. The crisis is over, she said. It is. The words left an unexpected emptiness. For weeks, every conversation had contained a task or deadline. Now the task was complete. I stepped back. Claire noticed. No. No what? You're doing the professional retreat. There is no longer a professional reason for me to stay involved. I know. She descended one step until we stood at the same level. I'm making lasagna tonight. The sentence caught me unprepared. Congratulations. Lucas told me it's his favorite. He has several favorite foods. He also told me his father has eaten dinner over the sink 3 times this week. That information was not authorized. Her smile reached her eyes. I'm inviting both of you. You don't owe us anything. Her expression became serious. I'm not settling a debt. I'm asking because I want you there. There was no emergency hidden inside the invitation. No witness statement. No board deadline. Only a choice. We'll be there at 6. At 5:58, Lucas and I stood on Claire's porch with garlic bread and a small basil plant. Dad bought you leaves, Lucas announced when she opened the door. Claire accepted the plants solemnly. I will grade them fairly. Her house smelled of tomatoes and toasted bread. 3 places waited around a small oak table. The only empty chair faced away from the doorway. For years, I had chosen seats that gave me the clearest view of every exit. My hand paused against the chair back. Then I pulled it out and sat down. She noticed but said nothing. During dinner, Lucas described a bridge project that had collapsed because one support carried all the weight. I added another support, and it stayed up. Engineering, I said. Cooperation, Claire corrected. Sometimes they are the same thing, Lucas replied. After he carried the dishes to the kitchen, Claire stood beside me. Coffee tomorrow? I asked. 7:28. That sounds professional. This does not. She reached for my hand. Her fingers settled between mine with calm certainty. Are you sure? Yes. I leaned closer, slowly enough for her to change her mind. She closed the distance. The kiss was brief and quiet. From the kitchen, Lucas called. I can still hear both of you being silent. Claire laughed against my shoulder. Put the forks in the left drawer. I called. They are already in the right drawer. The other right. 6 weeks later, The repaired brown wallet